Let's go, Luvia. Yeah, we'll have his thoughts on some different NFT projects in the metaverse too. So drop any projects or metaverse related topics in the comments here, and we'll be sure to ask Crafter. All right, y'all. What's up? We have a super exciting podcast today. We have the CEO of Metaskins NFT. This is a metaverse specifically for the Metaverse NFT project they're building for the Sandbox, Decentraland. I'm sure the other side, all the metaverses. I'm really excited to talk to him today. His name is Billy, or Crafter. You probably know him from, especially TikTok. He's a big TikTok creator. But you guys have any questions, just drop them in the chat if you're live with us. But without further ado, welcome to the Joyage Kingdom. I'm Cage, your guide, and we will be replacing little voices inside your head for now, giving you a break from the constant internal monologue that is the human mind. I want to say it first, thank you for listening or viewing on whatever platform you're on. If you haven't already, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you like NFT content, and we'll bring them on. We'll bring them on right now. Graphics, 3, 2, 1. Bow!
What up?
What's up, man? It's great to have you here.
Great to be here. Great to be here.
All
I'm
right,
gonna have to get some tips from you about how to do all the streaming stuff at the end.
Bro, streaming is my thing. It's always been my thing. I remember when I was when I first got into podcasting, I really enjoyed the live ones. Or I never went live, but every time I did go live on TikTok or something, I really had fun. And as I started to get into YouTube and I started to not be able to edit as many videos, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to do this live because I literally can't edit this. I don't have time to edit this. And I started doing them, and I was like, yo, this is fun as fuck. I really like this. So
yeah, I love the live. It's just like more transparent and more accessibility for everyone that's listening to be able to ask questions and stuff. So
100%. 100%, dude.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I definitely want to talk about NFTs. I definitely want to talk about Metaverse, and I'm sure people are gonna have questions specifically about the Metaverse. And if you don't already, put them in the chat, y'all, especially in TikTok. I know some of y'all are in here. Metaverse related questions specific, because we have a Metaverse specialty guy here in the chat. So, dude, we'll get into kind of your background stuff later, but I want to know why you guys chose Metaverse versus like going into a PFP style or into like another utility factor. Like, what was it about the Metaverse that got you interested?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty simple question for me. Is that it was gaming. Like I've always been a gamer. I've always loved gaming, and like the correlation between the metaverse and gaming is so like obvious to me, and I just see where it's going into the future. And obviously we're early, but like all of these like metaverses in quotes are very early stages, but there are a few ones that are popping up right now that I'm super excited about. And I don't know, I think like that's just what clicked in my head. Like I learned about NFTs, I learned about blockchain. I learned about blockchain a while ago, and then I started learning about NFTs, and like I was just like, like I see how NFTs and the blockchain technology is all going to work together and kind of build on top of the gaming industry that we already have. Yeah. And I was like, this is my opportunity to do what I've always wanted to do and be able to develop and build some sort of game / in the gaming world. Like I've just always wanted to be involved in the gaming world, and it's been and now like it just seemed like the perfect opportunity. So I was like, let's fucking do this.
Hell yeah. Well, here's a specific question, because I know probably the biggest way people play devil's avocado is they'll say, okay, well, I'm not a gamer. And that's something for me that strikes core. I'm not a huge gamer. I like playing like Pokemon, but like even that, bro, I played a few times. I'm all right. I'm good. I want to go do other things. So I'm not a huge gamer. So what for you, is it going to be like a Ready Player One where it's not exactly gaming per se, but it's more just like, this is what we do. This is just how it is. Everything is kind of metaverse. Is that what you envision? Is it Ready Player One, or is there something a little bit less complicated?
I think I love the Ready Player One analogy, and I do think that we will get to a point where we are living in a world that is very Ready Player One. Hopefully not. I hope being a part of the metaverse movement that I can help in whatever way I can make it so that we don't get to the point where we're like 100% in the metaverse and like we just live in shacks and like it doesn't matter where we live because everything we do is in the metaverse. So like that's a big thing that I've been focused on, is like as we like grow, I really want to figure out how to like blend the metaverse and in real life stuff so that we're still we're still like
Yeah.
living life. We're not just like sucked into the video game, because I'm the same way. Like I say I love video gaming, and I do. I love playing video games. I think video games are fun, but I'm the same way. Like I can only play for like an hour or two typically, and like that's like long for me. Now that I've like started like streaming more, like 2 hours is pretty normal now. But
Yeah.
like before that, like whenever I would just like sit down and play for a minute or two, it'd be like, okay, I need to go do something
Yeah.
outside or whatever. So yeah, I don't know if I was actually answering your question, but I don't even know
Who
what the
cares,
question
bro?
was
We're just fucking
at this
we're just
point.
talking.
But
It doesn't
but
even
yeah,
matter.
yeah.
What games interest you right now for Metaverse, or do any? Like for me, I've seen a couple gameplays, and I'm like, bro, that just looks like a shittier version of what's already out. Like as far as like Fortnite, like we're seeing the Board Yacht Club, and I'm like, fam, that's literally Fortnite. That's copy and paste Fortnite. That's what it is. But the
it
difference is the
it
IP.
definitely
The
is.
difference is the Board Yacht Club is the owners of that world. And so I think that could be powerful enough, because it's like, yes, it's an exact copy basically. I mean, people are going to hate on it for a while, but at some point it's going to be like, okay, Board Yacht Club is everywhere, and this is their little world. And if you want to participate, this is what it looks like. Have you seen any of the Metaverse games so far? NFT related games?
I so there's a few that I really enjoy playing, but I agree with what you're saying. They're definitely like, and we're just early days right now, but
Yeah.
they're just like early knockoff versions of things that have already been perfected. Um, it's like I sometimes I wonder what is going to happen. Not sometimes, a lot of times I wonder what is going to happen. Like, are the games that are already out there going to just adopt the NFT and blockchain mentality and incorporate that into their gaming? I know a lot of them are working on it, so it seems like that's going to be a play that happens in the future. But I think there's also room for other platforms to come in and like solidify themselves as like we're focused 100% on blockchain gaming kind of thing.
Yeah.
And a few of those that I think are doing good stuff are the Sandbox. Number one, I think I'm most excited about the Sandbox. So if you haven't checked out the Sandbox, it's similar to like the graphics are definitely similar to like a Minecraft world, but that's the reason behind that is because what they're doing is they're building a metaverse that basically anyone can come in and learn how to build and like do their own things in the Sandbox. And that's one of the main places that I've been focused on building recently. So sandbox.game, for those of you that are listening in, if you want to go check it out, sandbox.game will give you a good insight into what that is. Decentraland is another cool one. Decentraland's been out for a while. They they are approached it weird in my opinion, but whatever. They launched to the public like super early, like before they really even had anything figured out. It was just like a bare world, and
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
it's slowly been like getting developed more and more and more. I've attended like some music festivals there, which that was fun.
Cool.
So
How was
I
that?
think
What was that like?
yeah, I think Decentraland does that well. So
Okay.
I think Decentraland is kind of, that's like their lane that they're gonna fill, is more of like the festivals and events style stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and but the music festival was great. Like it was cool to like see the different like visuals that was being done. So like you were like visually intrigued, and
Yeah.
most because it's like you're just you're standing or sitting at your computer watching your screen. So like you're definitely not at a music festival, but like so
Right.
like the visuals that they were doing like helps kind of like suck you in
Yeah.
and get you to be entertained. So I think that's definitely necessary for anyone that's thinking about doing some sort of event or music festival. Is like, just think about it, like we're all just sitting at our computers. Like
Yeah.
you need something to like keep us focused, not just the music. So but it was great. I think it was done well. It's cool to say that I was at the first music festival that I'm aware of that ever happened in the metaverse. So
Was
um
that wasn't the Snoop Dogg one, right? I saw Bryce just dropped in the comments. He said, "How was the Snoop Dogg event?"
no, that was not the Snoop Dogg one. The Snoop I guess I'm not 100% sure what you're referencing, but the Snoop, I'm thinking if you're talking about very recently, Snoop Dogg and the Sandbox are partnered up, and if you have a Snoop Dogg avatar, you can be participating throughout this month. Each week you can go to like a different place in the sandbox and like take a screenshot and submit it.
Oh, nice.
There's like a contest page on Sandbox that you can do this at, but and then that enters you to split the pot of money that they're distributing. They're going to distribute sand to everyone, which is their token. So but it was cool. I mean, it's cool every time we get to go into the sandbox, because the sandbox is the complete opposite of Decentraland as far as like how they're rolling things out. They're being very methodical and only releasing little chunks at a time that people can go play test, basically.
Yeah.
So they're very much in their alpha phase right now, and it'll be exciting whenever that becomes more and more open. But yeah, that's what that, like, this Snoop Dogg event that I think he's referencing. And what up, Bryce? By the way, I love Bryce's energy. He's
Bryce is
always
fucking,
bringing
he's lit.
the fire.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
he has another question. Oh shit, he's got questions today. He's curious today on this Saturday morning. Have you seen the Fortnite concerts where they move your characters to give you more of an immersive experience versus watching? Interesting. I have not seen that.
I have
Have
not
you?
seen that either. So they
Interesting.
move your character.
So
You
yeah,
don't have to do the moving. That's kind of
it's
that's a cool concept, actually.
to
And
give you more of an immersive experience rather than watching statically. To move your characters. I wonder what he means by that. I'm not sure. Like bouncing up and down kind of thing. I have no idea. I'm not sure. That is
yeah,
interesting.
when I read that comment, my thought process went to, and I'm also like in game development mode, so like
Yeah.
I always think about how we would do it in a game, and like it would be kind of cool to and I've been thinking about how people could do music videos. I feel like music videos in the metaverse is something that's going to be a thing eventually. But you could basically like set up a platform that someone is standing on, so when you walk in with your avatar, you stop at as far as you can go, most likely, and then you're on this platform, and then the platform, I'm trying to like keep it on camera, the platform would move you through a scene, so like you
Yeah.
don't have to walk, but
Oh,
you're kind of like getting brought into maybe different, like, visually, like, I don't know, stuff going on, who knows, but I'm not the visual designer, but I
yeah.
did hear that the Travis Scott, I just saw his comment come in,
Yeah.
Travis Scott was a good example. I didn't actually watch it, but I should go back and watch it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting stuff.
Slides
I
and
think a lot of the things that are happening in the metaverse right now are so early that people almost clown on them because they're like, it feels a bit unnecessary. It feels a bit like too early to like begin building these things. But the truth is, bro, I mean, Facebook's been building the metaverse for the past few years already. They already started. So like for
yeah.
people saying it's too early, for me, it's too early to talk about it just because no one's really interested yet. That's why I haven't made a bunch of content on it yet. I'm gonna make
Yeah.
some content on it, but not like every single week kind of thing. It's just not in the meta. It's not what people are looking at yet. So it matters from like a YouTube standpoint for me as a content creator. But people who are building now, like if you were to say, hey, I want to make that the music video platform like you just brought up, that would be
Mhm.
something that you could start building now, and you're probably not going to see any ROI for the next 5 years. Like that's just how it is for a lot of projects that are building things for the metaverse, like services and stuff like that. It's just one of those things. Like if you're building it now, you just have to accept that it's not going to do. You're not going to have too much demand yet until the metaverse is in the mainstream and people are actually actively looking, saying, okay, now we're in the metaverse. Like now we need someone who can do music videos. Like who is that person? You're like, okay, now I've been here for 6 years. I'm the one. I've got all the connections. I'm the first. Blah blah blah. So for people who are looking to build right now, you have to be building for the future. And if you're looking for jobs, you have to be acquiring skills that are going to be helpful to you as a person to make you all around more effective as just a team contributor, because you don't know what jobs are going to be available in the metaverse when everything comes. Like we literally have no idea. It's just guessing at this point, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it totally is, and I agree. It's gonna be interesting to see how fast the metaverse does get adopted. I think 5 years is probably like a safe bet. I think, just
Yeah, that's what
judging
Gary Vee
by
is saying.
just
A lot of the guys are saying 5 years or so.
yeah, I would say like 3 to 5 is
Yeah,
what, like, I could see. I think 5 years is going to be when it's like mass adopted, starting to happen. But
yeah.
like 3-ish years is probably
Well,
when like
the amount of shit
there's
that's
gonna be
happened,
cool
bro.
stuff. It's just, yeah,
Yeah,
the amount of stuff that's happening right now, like
it's just
like I,
ridiculous. Like
And
we've
I'm
seen
like,
in 1 year, bro. Like in 1 year, we are like in not even 1 year. So the beginning of COVID to now, the difference between the culture of people and how they interact online has changed dramatically. Now everyone, like online, acts like when you look into TikTok comments, and it's all the same. It's all like this. The top comments are always like the same style of comment, like some sarcastic bullshit. And
yep.
like everyone is doing it though. And like people I know who didn't leave comments like that before or talk like that will leave comments like that. Or the way we text now is like TikTok
Hmm.
comments. We'll like leave
Oh
stupid little
yeah.
gifs. And I'm like, wait, we all have like the same sense of humor now. And then before it was not the same. Like there was no central thing where we all could get around. But now TikTok has become that, and it's changed like culture online forever. And so in 2 years, that's what happened. We went from this to this. And I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
uh,
I mean that's why I'm building what I'm building, because
yeah,
I do know that it's coming, and it's going to be a big wave. Like when the adoption happens,
huge.
it's going to be huge. And
Yeah.
like the gaming industry itself is already just a giant industry, and to then incorporate, I mean, a lot of it's going to like still just be the gaming industry that's also doing blockchain stuff, but like to blend that together, it's going to
Yeah.
just get bigger and bigger. And it's exciting for sure. Oh, whoa.
Fun. I don't know what that was. Let me see if my camera is overheating or something. Yeah, let me switch my camera. I'm gonna switch to my webcam camera and swap my battery out. I have no idea what that was, but I don't want my camera to just turn on. And it literally ended the stream. Like straight up ended the entire stream, and I was just like, okay.
Okay.
That was, but I can't even recover from that one. Okay, here we go.
That's part of doing stuff live.
Yeah, that's very true, bro. Some of the weird I've seen live. There's no coming back from it. If you mess up live, it's just well, roll with the punches.
Exactly.
So you're building for the metaverse. You're doing a lot of I guess like development work is what I could describe it as. But you're also doubling as a content creator, and you're making a shit ton of content. And I saw one of your videos, I think yesterday maybe, about Alex Becker, and it was like a green screen video of him talking about the metaverse. I think it was you who made that video, just talking about. He was basically saying like gaming's coming. We're at a fraction of the fucking market cap of what the entire crypto market is, and he's very confident it's going to blow crypto as an entire industry out of the water. And I'm like, if that happens, and you've got $500 in whatever small cap gaming coin, and that ends up taking, yo, we're about to see like millionaires on millionaires on millionaires on millionaires. The amount of millionaires that were built in the last 20 years, it's going to do like a 25x from that, because the opportunities that are being afforded to just random ass people gambling on bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, that's such a great way to put it, because we are all gambling. Like
Yeah.
we need to be honest about that. Like
Yeah.
it all is just kind of speculating and betting, and hoping that you get lucky. But you can do it very educatedly, and and I agree. Like there's so much like growth that's going to happen with the ones that do successfully gain traction and turn into what they're trying to turn into. So yeah, like just having a couple of random gaming tokens that you have maybe a $500, $1,000 into, like that could turn into a lot. Like I've already seen it happen. Like it, obviously we go through cycles in crypto, but like just the sand. So back to Sandbox, they have their token Sand, and it was, whenever I started paying attention, which was a couple of years ago, it was like down in like the 50 cents, 70, 75 cent area. And now it's sitting at like $1.20, I think, is last I checked. But back whenever we were in the bull market, and Sandbox was like kind of like releasing their alpha and stuff, like the token got up to like $8 at one point. So like like there's just like those big, and obviously like it's back down to 120, but like that, one thing to note on that is like take advantage of that. Don't just because you are confident and you have conviction on a project doesn't mean you shouldn't take profits from it.
Agreed.
Like you can always get back in, and in this world, and hopefully people are starting to realize this, there's going to be these cycles over and over and over again until we get really, really solidified, which is like 5-10 years. So like you need to, like I'm big on just investing in things that you do have conviction on. I don't really play the DJing game all that
Yeah, me
much
too.
with just like trying to get lucky on things, but every once in a while I will.
Yeah.
But like just you still take profits even though you have conviction on it, and like if you look at it as a long-term hold, that's awesome that it could be a long-term hold, but remember that you could have more of that long-term hold if you sell at the top, and then when the cycle comes back down, then buy back into it, and then
Yeah.
sell again, and then eventually that's just the formula.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you talk about that. From what I've heard you talk about some of your strategies, it's similar to that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree. I
Uh,
think for me, I had basically now this investment's actually literally down on when I bought it in, which is crazy because I bought it at like the biggest discount of all time. I thought basically D-Race had done a absolute flash crash in like 30 seconds, and I was just there when Alex Becker put out a tweet and said D-Race just had a flash crash, and I was able to get there within like 4 seconds, and I was able to buy in like I think I like had like $100 or whatever, but I think I put in like $100, and within like I don't know, like 6 weeks, I think it went from, I think gave me an 8x, and I had like
mhm.
$800 worth in there. And I remember thinking, okay, like I have conviction in this project, so like I should just hold it. And I just held it. And like now it's back down to fucking 100 bucks or whatever. And I'm just like, that was so dumb. And it probably takes like 3 full cycles before you realize, okay, this is about when I should be selling in the market. Like when the market gets to this point, you're like, wow, everything's fucking great. I can just buy this and it goes up. Then you're like, oh, wait, fuck. And then you're like, oh, I need to sell everything. And then you start selling things and you slowly start to get out, and then you can kind of prepare better. And like this last bull market, I was able to do that. Okay. I was able to get out some projects and take some good profits, but I still stayed in some projects that I maybe shouldn't have held through this long. I also didn't expect this bear market to last as long as it did. But
Yeah.
it's just something you got to think about. It's going to take a while to get used to it, and probably you're going to take more L's than wins in crypto. I think people have this belief that crypto is going to bring them money because it makes a lot of people rich, but I would argue that it makes more people broke.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's so right. Like the way that most people are winning is they have very big baskets with
Yeah.
tons and tons of different projects
Hmm.
or whatever you want to call them in there, and some of those pop off. So like you either get lucky with a small basket,
Yeah.
or you get wrecked with a small basket,
Yeah.
or you just win over the long run if you can have a big basket. So
And that's Alex's
yeah.
strategy. I mean, he just buys in. I mean, he knows the gaming world, so obviously he buys all the gaming coins he likes. But then he diversifies. He picks the best projects in the DeFi system, the best projects in the gaming ecosystem, and all the different industries. He picks like the top coins, and then it gambles on a few altcoins and stuff like that because he's rich. And then if any of them take, that basically just like keeps him safe across the board, the portfolio. And for me, that took 2 years to understand and actually come to terms with that you need to diversify. Because at first I was like, nah, just go with what you believe. But it's like, yeah, but there's cycles and things go up and down, and you don't know which one's going to take. Like I thought gaming was going to take in this next bull run. We didn't end up actually seeing a bull run at all. So like we're still at this bear
Yeah.
market. It's like maybe we will see that bull market next for gaming, but I know gaming will come back at some point. They had that run. They had all the projects come out and start building. That means they've been building for the last 6 months. So that at some point, when we go back into a healthier state in the market, all those projects who have been building are going to say, hey, we've been building this shit. We're ready to go. And then gaming projects, all the new gaming projects are going to say, oh, we're building a game too. And then like next thing you know, we're in a bull market again.
Yeah.
But what do you guys like? What does the day in the life look like for you? Are you mainly into the content creation, or are you mainly into the coding, or like what does your day in the life look like?
Day in the life for me is definitely content creation is a big part of where a lot of my energy goes. I'm basically the face of Metaskins, so like that's a big part of what I'm doing. But the cool thing about that is like while I'm creating content, like I do a lot of Twitch streaming. So like while I'm creating, I am or creating content, I'm also creating for Metaskins. So I'm
Yeah.
building the different avatars, building the different assets that we're using in the game that we're building, and it's kind of like all in one, which is nice. So like I can get multiple things done at once, which is I finally have kind of like found that groove where I'm
Hell
like,
yeah.
okay, like I can create content around what I'm building for my company. So like it's all kind of like coming together, and
Yeah.
it feels like I'm in the lane that I'm supposed to be in, where
Hell yeah.
for a while there it was more I was focused on well, I was focused on getting a lot of the back end stuff and Metaskins kind of like the vision of Metaskins solidified and like what we actually are doing. And now that I'm in the more content creation and like just marketing basically, it feels really good, and I'm so excited about what we're doing with Metaskins. Like it's hard to not show up every day and stream and just show people what I'm building and what we're building, because
Yeah.
it's gonna be a good time. Like you were saying, like if you are excited, this is the thing. If you're excited about gaming and you think that the metaverse is something that's going to be a thing,
Mhm.
you definitely should be looking into some different projects out there, including Metaskins,
Yeah.
because they will take off eventually. And even if you only have a couple different projects that you have a couple different things in, like when those pop, then you can roll those profits into other things, if you're a trader, or you can just hold on to the things that you like and that you want to play.
Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. And I saw you post a video on YouTube, which is great. You for people who watch my channel, they know huge fan of people who create content around their stuff. Basically just regurgitating Gary Vee. I mean, he's just right. Like just making content. When he said 3 years ago, how do you market yourself organically where people actually like trust you? He's like, make a podcast about whatever you're doing and just talk about
Mhm.
that shit. And then people will say, oh, this is the person to talk about this stuff. Oh shit, they got a project. Oh shit, this is what they're doing. Oh shit, this is what they actually do for a job. And then they get interested and then they do that rabbit hole. But do you want to talk a little bit? I know you did a full YouTube video on it, so people who can watch their in-depth video on Metaskins. But do you want to give like a little bit of like what you guys are trying to do in the metaverse? Like, what is it exactly? Like, which niche in the metaverse you're trying to fill? I guess.
Yeah, I just realized I don't have my light on. You probably can't see me that good. There, now you can see me a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll give you a little rundown. And yeah, this is the website, metaskins.io. Easy enough to mint your founder keys if you're already ready and wanting to get one. All you got to do is connect your wallet up in the top right hand corner, and then the mint function will pop up to the left of that key. But founder keys, basically what founder keys are is so we let me take a step back, and then
Yeah.
we'll take us, actually we're going to take a step forward and then we'll take a step back. So but it's kind of backwards, but it doesn't matter. So you're clicking on trading cards, and that's actually where we're going. So trading cards, they are actually available now. We just paused them because we wanted to not confuse people with the founder keys. So it says
Gotcha.
available soon, but we're
Yeah.
going to turn that back on. So trading cards is where we started. This was like my big vision. I was like, because I basically got into NFTs right before this whole like profile picture craze happened. Like
Mm,
right before Bored Apes, like was when I really started paying attention. I was not ready to buy NFTs at that point, so I definitely missed out on like the Bored Apes and everything.
yeah.
But
Same.
I was here and like paying attention, and what kept like popping into my thoughts was why is no one allowing us to build our own profile pictures, and like why do we always have to just get randomized traits assigned? And that's what we're left with. And I get that. I do get that it's fun, and it's kind of like that whole gambling aspect that is kind of woven into the projects. But I wanted to do something a little bit different, so we came up with this build your own avatar concept where
Yeah. Very interesting.
so you mint packs of cards, and then the cards then allow you to create your avatar based off of different traits. So each card is a different trait, and then you can combine those traits together, like you can kind of see on the video there.
Yeah.
That they're walking through it, and you
You
just
just choose each one. It builds your
choose.
character slowly.
Yep.
Very cool.
And then so that was what I was focused on in the beginning. We launched this back in September of 2021.
Nice.
And that's what I wanted to make sure that we could do, because that was like the thing that I really wanted to solve, was like a build your own avatar style thing. And
Yeah.
then I was like, how, like after like paying attention and just like seeing how projects were doing things. I build differently, so I build out in the public. I just like build and release things, and then I start marketing.
Yeah.
Versus like most projects out there build all the hype, and then they show you what you're gonna get, which is usually just a JPEG. And and anyways, so the trading cards, perfect. They worked. We got a system for that. I knew that it was going to happen. So then I was like, how would I, if I could, which I can't, but if I could go back in time, how would I start a project from the ground up? And that's with a small collection. So I decided 555. I like angel numbers. And so I went with 555 of these founder keys. And basically the concept around the founder keys is that you, as a holder of the founder key, are going to unlock multiple different things in the metaverse as we grow as a studio. So the big thing to touch on, I know I'm throwing a lot at you guys, but
I mean, wait, that's what we're here to do. We're here to talk about metaskins.
Hell yeah. So this is a big thing that I'm doing with Metaskins is we're building an interoperable metaverse studio, is what I'm calling it. That's my terming for it. I haven't seen that out there, but that's what we are. We're an interoperable metaverse studio. And interoperability means that you can use your NFTs in multiple different platforms, basically, is what I'll call them. So you can use it in the sandbox, in Decentraland, in the other side, in whatever, like whatever metaverses we're supporting. And so that's the whole idea, is that any NFT that you get from Metaskins is going to work in these multiple different metaverses, and it'll unlock different but similar things in each of those metaverses. And the founder keys are the first and the holy grail, in my opinion, of Metaskins NFTs. So this one is going to unlock a lot of different things in the future. So just to start off, you're going to get an avatar that you'll be able to use in the sandbox. You'll get a couple different templates that you'll be able to place on your land. One is going to be a house. So if you do have land in the sandbox or Decentraland, you can start kind of like building without actually knowing how to build. And then also just some different assets. So you'll get a hoverboard. You'll get, what else do we got? We have some like different like house party themed assets that you can use to put in your house, and just all kinds of fun. We're all about fun at Metaskins. Like that's literally my goal, is to make the metaverse fun and accessible for as many people as possible. So I guess like you can ask a question after this, but my big takeaway / pitch for getting a founder key is that it's literally like your all access pass to whatever we do. Because the cool thing about NFTs is that I can drive value back into this NFT over and over and over again. And just kind of stack things on top of it, which that's the cool thing about the technology, is it's not just what it is right now. It could be so much different in 5-10 years from now. And like, just like access to in real life things, and access to other like special events in the metaverse, and all kinds of just different stuff like that. But I'm super excited about where we're going with everything.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I agree with as far as adding value later. It's a very Gary V like mentality too that I also share. Just like he's like, look, if you buy these NFTs, you're basically investing in thinking I'm gonna do cool stuff in the future, and you're betting that I'm gonna deliver value back to you for investing in me and helping me launchpad myself into the world. And same with me with like my access key NFTs. It's kind of the same. I'm like, look, for me, I'm not a metaverse project. I'm just a creator. So I'm like, look, you're supporting a creator. That's what it is. That's what it's always been. I dropped that project like back in the summer before I even did YouTube. And so that's what it's always been. But that's one of those things that I remember one time someone asked me, they were like, okay, well, like you're probably just going to forget about it in like 20 years or something. I was like, no, that's the thing. It's a flex for me to be able in 20 years, if I can go on Twitter and say, I did this cool thing for all of my followers, that helps me. I was like, why would I give that up? I was like, that's totally false. And especially for my access keys, I've got like 50 max. So like me, I have like a very small amount. Like I can actually drive some really cool value with Gary V. He's got 10,000 V Friends Series 1 and now 50,000 Series 2. It's gonna be much harder, but he's also at a big, greater scale. So I'm really fucking interested to see, like, the NFT world has, I think the biggest thing for me I'm trying to word this in a way where I can clip this later for TikTok. The reason NFTs are so interesting to me is because what it does is it opens my mind to think in the future, but not to think about the future, but to almost live in the future and say, like, I'm so excited to be alive in 80 years because I need to fucking see what this shit is going to look like. I want to see what this looks like. Are we going to be in a Ready Player One? Is it going to be like Avatar? Where are we going to be? Where's our head? Are we going to be in war in the metaverse? Are we going to be in space? Are we going to give up the space for it because there's no point? Like, I just want to know. And so it's one of those things, like, I can't help but want to just be here and want to be a builder and be involved in this shit. That's why I'm making these videos. I want to be someone who's a leader in the space, who's like a thought leader, or like on camera, or whatever. Like, my favorite thing is being on camera. I could stream for all day. I love streaming. I love doing videos. And so I know that's where my biggest value is, just talking to the camera. But for you, what is, so like when I asked earlier, like your day in the life, so you're making content, obviously, because you're the face of the company, you're the CEO, you're the founder. You're in charge of reaching out to people. You're in charge of, like, basically having people be interested in the project. A lot of them are going to be coming because of you. But is your background in, like, coding? Like, when you're doing stuff in the day, when you're streaming yourself doing work, what is that exactly? Are you designing the avatars or helping with design work, or what is it?
Yeah, so it's definitely most of what I'm doing as far as when I'm creating content is designing the avatars and the assets in it's actually in, which is, this is the cool thing, both. If you want to build in Decentraland or the Sandbox, you can use free software. The Sandbox has their own software that they developed called Vox Edit. And so that's a lot of what I'm doing, is I'm building in Vox Edit and their game maker. And both are just free tools that they develop that obviously work with their game. And then, or you can get Blender if you want to build into Decentraland. So that's a lot of what I'm doing, is just kind of like teaching, educating, because it's one of those things that it's not just a studio. Like obviously, like I'm thinking big picture, and I'm an entrepreneur, and like I get like the business side of things behind this, and we're going to have a team of builders on Metaskins that are building all of these things. It's not just going to be me building eventually, but even if you're just a one-man show and you want to,
that's literally me right now. That's a lot of
but
us,
like,
bro. A lot of us.
I mean, it's basically what I have a solid team of like 3 to 5 that are helping right now. But yeah, like, even if you're interested at all listening to this podcast or whatever, and you want to get into something that you will be able to make money from in the metaverse eventually, like when this opens up, you will be able to make assets and avatars and stuff like that, and upload them. They're calling it user generated content, is kind of the term for it. But you'll be able to upload that to different marketplaces, and so if you're building cool shit that people want, they'll come and buy it instead of building it themselves. So it's just a cool opportunity for both builders that are building bigger brands and businesses, and then just the individual builder that wants to be a part of this in some way. And it's cool that it's accessible to everyone for free right now. Like I said, both of those programs are free, and there's so much like resources. Like, obviously, like, I'm doing my part in educating and teaching people how to use the software, but like, there's so much else out there on YouTube as far as tutorials go. So yeah.
Well, there's a place in the Web3 world for everyone, which is fun for me. I mean, obviously there's a place in the Web2 world for everything too, but it's a little bit different. Like, the soft skills are a bit amplified in this world, which is fun. Like, for me, growing up in high school, I always tell this story because it's just so funny. I was in, like, I think this must have been like junior or senior year in high school. But I also have taken these little tests in middle school where it's like, hey, like, what are you good at? What are you probably going to be when you grow up? And like, literally, you want to know my answers were? It was fucking clerk and cashier. That was like literally every time. And I'm sitting there, I'm a junior in high school. I'm like, I was like really good at sports. Like, I was trying to play college soccer. That was like my main thing. I was really good in school, but I didn't have any like specific skills. I was just like kind of good at like talking and stuff, but it was like, that was basically it. And I was just kind of like, damn, like, I don't know how I'm going to figure this life thing out. I don't know what I'm going to do. And so Now in this NFT world, I mean, content creation, like it sounds like it was like the perfect thing for me. And it is. And like just being on camera is what I'm good at and what I'm comfortable doing. Some people hate being on camera, which I can't even understand. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, make a TikTok. They're like, well, I don't really want to. I'm like, why? Like, it's so easy. They're like, well, it's not easy. And I forget, like, I've been doing this forever. I've been doing it for 10 years. Like, YouTube is my thing. Like, it's what I've always wanted to do. But in this world, like, if you're a quiet person, you don't like to talk to people, you're just really fucking good at like line art. Shit. Well, you're about to be fully employed because this
Right.
NFT world has opportunities everywhere for you. Where do you see the biggest opportunities?
Biggest opportunities right now that I've been seeing is just like community management. I think is a really big one. Like because there's so many projects out there, and every single project has a Discord and a Twitter and a this and a that, and and I think that all kind of falls into the community management side of things, like
Agreed.
so community/social media management. But like that's a huge opportunity that literally anyone can do if you have any sort of like people skills and
Yeah.
and want to do it. But like so I think I've always seen that as being an easy lane for people to get into, and then once
Yeah.
you take that step, then from there you can you start to get exposed to this Web3 world, and then from there just kind of follow your heart and like go where it leads you. Like if you're excited about the metaverse, then start getting into some of these metaverse
Oh
projects,
yeah.
and then figure out what in the metaverse you're excited about. Or if you're just more strictly into the art, then go and get into some of the art projects and then see what they're doing, and then you'll
Mhm.
find your way. It's just it's a journey for all of us. Like I think everyone underappreciates how early we actually are.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
like just because it like you're just getting here, if you're just getting into this space, you're still early. Like
Yeah.
you're not late. Like yes, there's like a lot that's happened in the last year or so, but that doesn't mean anything, because
Yeah.
it was only like I don't know, maybe 300,000 people, probably
Dude,
not even
no,
that
I
many.
get, I bet
Like
you $100 if I walked out into my apartment complex right now and knocked on every single door in my hallway, one person in my building knows what NFTs are. Like nobody knows what NFTs are. They don't even have a clue. They're like, oh, that's that Bitcoin thing, and you're like,
yeah.
oh yeah, fuck me.
Yeah.
You are like, we are a while away. But it's funny, yeah, we are really early, but we're also close in the sense that like people jump on stuff quick, and it can become mainstream fast, and fast meaning like over the course of probably like a year kind of thing. But we can go from something to something completely different in a year, and I think people forget how slow a year can really feel, but also how fast a year can fly by, which is totally like not the same thing, but it's just how it is. Like it feels long in the days, but then you look back, you're like, holy shit, like a year just passed.
Yeah, I mean
And
it's already June, y'all. Like holy
I know,
shit.
dude. So like NFT NYC is about to happen. Are you going to that?
I'm not.
Damn.
I keep going back and forth. Maybe I'll go last minute, but
I'm not paying for a ticket. I mean, that's a lot of people aren't buying tickets. I don't want
I
to. I'm not going to fucking go to those speeches. I'm just going to talk to
I
people and
don't.
meet people.
Yeah,
But
I don't agree with the the whole what a lot of these conferences are doing, and just allowing any goddamn person to come and speak if they pay a certain amount of money.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I
just
think
big
it's
entrepreneurs from the Web2 world. Just like
yeah.
they don't know
I just
anything, dude. They don't know anything about NFTs, but whatever.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. It's neither here nor there. Like, obviously, this is going to happen. Like, that's just
Yeah,
how things go as we go. But I do think that these events are great for, especially just like the other events that are the satellite events, I think is what people like to refer to them as. But I was just at the VFriends
Oh, you
conference,
are VCon. Hell
VCon.
yeah, yeah, I saw that.
So that was super fun. I highly recommend. Like, that's where you're gonna meet the coolest friends that you never knew you would meet in this lifetime,
Yeah,
because we all come from different walks of life, but at the same time we're all kind of interested in the same thing. So like it's cool. It's just like it's like a mixing pot of different perspectives, but also the similar perspective, if that makes sense. And
yeah,
just like the conversations and the people that I met, even just at VCon for the few days that we were there, like just definitely made me more excited about where the space is going, because it's like talking to somebody that just never even knew about Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything, maybe 6 months ago, and then found NFTs through Gary Vee, and then now like have seen all of the different use cases for it, and are like, and can like talk to me about it and actually like understand what's going on. I was like, okay, like it's catching on, like we're
Yeah.
getting there. So it's just like, I don't know where we were going exactly with this, but you should go to what I was trying to get at is you should go to as many events in real life as you can, because you're gonna meet some cool people and have
How
some
did you meet most of
lifelong
them?
friendships probably.
Yeah, like
Uh,
how did you meet? Like where was like at the fucking at the table, or like where do you meet these people to actually talk to them?
yeah, it's I think even like I struggled with it the first day or so, but take it from me, take my advice. Don't don't be shy, don't be hesitant to like walk up to a random group, even or a random one person, and just say hi, say what's up. Like if you're there alone, just say that, like I'm here alone, just looking to meet some new peeps. And everyone's like at least at all the conferences I've been at,
Yeah,
everyone's so friendly
they want to
and
talk. They
welcoming.
want to talk.
Like you'll be able to tell if somebody's having like a conversation that you shouldn't walk into. Like just
Uh,
use your judgment.
yeah. Did you
But
see
yeah,
K
like
Money?
no,
He was there, right? I think he was there. Yeah, he was. He made a little skit there. I remember.
I don't think I did ever run into him. I did see him. He definitely was there, because I did see him
Yeah.
posting. But no, I never did run into him. There was so many people that I was expecting to run into that I never even ran into.
Really?
Like it's crazy. Like it wasn't like that big, but it was bigger than I had expected.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, like going a great way to meet people is go stand in a line. Go stand in a line and then just talk to whoever you're next to.
Oh my god,
Like
that's hilarious.
go wait to get some
That's a
food
good
and at a
idea.
food truck, or I don't know, get an autograph from somebody or whatever,
Yeah.
and then just spark up a
What
conversation.
was the energy like actually like when you showed up? Were you kind of underwhelmed? Were you overwhelmed? The energy feel good? Was it kind of like awkward? What was it like?
So the first day was interesting. But I loved that they did it this way. And like looking back on it, like even that night I was thinking about it, I was like, this was such a great way to start an event. So they did like a kickoff,
Mm.
event or whatever for a couple hours at the night before. And they had like DJs and stuff that were playing music in the background. And the interesting thing about that is like these DJs were like on stage, like playing their music and like trying to like hype up a crowd. But like everyone was just kind of like chilling and like having conversations,
Nice.
and like just more so you could tell that a lot of us were introverted and not and not
I
like
love it.
big in
Love it.
the dance scene or anything. But
Yeah.
um like the vibe was still like really high. Like everyone was excited to be meeting new people, and most people that I met at VCon were there by themselves, or maybe with like one or two other people. So like no one was like in like these big like groups where you felt like you couldn't approach or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
So
Plus,
yeah,
if you got a couple of people, like the good thing is, well, if you show up with people, it's great. Like if you show up with a couple of people, you can walk up to another group of people around the same size, just sit down, say what's up, and you guys can
mhm,
pretty much spark a conversation. At least I mean, a couple of people are also talking. It doesn't feel like all the pressure's on you. And if you go out there alone, you meet a couple of people. Hopefully, you make friends, exchange phone numbers, and say, hey, let's go here tomorrow, or let's go here at 4 or 5 o'clock. Like later today, I'm meeting up with someone I know through Twitter. And she was like, hey, I'm going to be in Seattle and I'm going to the museum exhibition thing that's happening tonight. Do you want to go? I have an extra ticket. I was like, fuck yeah. So we're just going to show up. I have no idea. I'm sure we'll meet some people, but I'm fucking
yeah.
excited. But I think that's just how it is. You show up and you see what happens. I'm going to go to NFT NYC and I'm not going to bring a dab pen. I usually bring a dab pen just in case. It's like kind of like you can always escape if you have
It's
a
a
dab
little
pen with you.
crutch.
Yeah, so for
Yeah.
me, I was like, you know what? It's my first big event. I'm gonna not bring it, and I'm just gonna force myself to just sit through it and try and enjoy myself. I think I should be able to. It's gonna be high energy, I think.
Oh, totally. And I
So
mean, there's going to be plenty of opportunity to
yeah, that's true.
to do your own little dabbing and smoking
Yeah,
if you want.
I
That
forgot New
is
York is legal, isn't it? Yeah, it's legal
I'm
in New York.
pretty sure it is in New York
Yeah,
now. Like, so yeah, I mean, and that's part of the culture.
true. Very true.
So it's like VCon. It surprised me like how many people were just like smoking inside the stadium. Like, I was
Wait,
like,
I didn't know it was legal in Minnesota. That's
it's
cool.
not legal in
Oh
Minnesota.
shit. Gary Vee was like, "Fuck it."
Yeah, and I was like,
That's
it
funny.
wasn't a lot. Like, I think most people were respectful, but every once in a while I like saw somebody just like light up inside, and I was like, you're pushing the boundaries, man. But hey, you
But
do
then you're
you.
like, "Yeah, let me pass that. Let me get that."
Yeah, but yeah,
That
exactly.
was awesome. I
I
saw, yeah,
was like, well,
one
if
of
you're
your
doing it, I'll
funniest
do it.
TikToks. One of your funniest TikToks is the one he was like, bum 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 bum, and it was like you after a long work day, and you're like running
Yeah,
out with your blunt. That shit
sneaking
was so
outside.
funny.
Hey,
Love it.
that's what you work hard, play hard. That's
Facts,
what I
dude.
say.
What do you do for fun outside of? I know you said you do a little bit of gaming, but you're not working. Like, what do you do to decompress? Do you hang out with friends? Do you just chill? Like,
Me, we have a few friends in Austin that we like to go do things with. Typically, like food is involved. I'm a big
mm,
foodie, and so
what kind of food?
so is my wife. I really like Asian food, so
Hell yeah!
Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, sushi.
Oh
But
my god, I'm hungry now.
I know I'm getting hungry too. But like I live in Austin, Texas. For those of you that don't realize that yet, you will if you follow me for a few days. But but there's so many different food options in Austin, so that's one of the reasons we love it here.
Hell yeah!
But that, and then also just like the nature that you can access in Austin is also amazing. So like
Yeah,
there's so many different hiking trails. I haven't gotten a mountain bike yet, but I plan on getting a mountain bike here soon.
nice.
So I like to do some different outdoor stuff. We got a couple of paddle boards that we take out every once in a
Hell yeah!
while. So just kind of that kind of vibe is my happy place. Disc golf. I'm a big disc golfer as well. I don't know if
Fuck
that,
yeah!
so yeah,
Hell
that's kind of my go-to when I'm looking to just unwind and disconnect. And I try to, like I was saying, like it's like it's a balancing act for me because like I'm building in the metaverse, and so I'm like always like
Right.
sucked into the computers and stuff. But like when I get a chance to disconnect, I really do like try and
Yeah.
disconnect, like put the phone down, like put everything down, just
Same.
so that I can
It's good, dude.
just
It
like
really, really helps.
live in life for a little bit. Yeah,
It feels
because
weird
otherwise,
almost. It
like
feels like almost you're in like a hallucination or not hallucination. It feels like you're almost like in another reality when you're totally disconnected and you're like living a normal life. And then like I always have this moment usually because I'm so used to being on the internet on my phone and stuff. Like I'll be out for like an extended period of time and I'll be like, is this what normal people always do? I'm like, are they not? Like what? And it's just like I have this like weird moment. But Bryce said this is funny. Bullish on crafters' food opinions. Question: hit it like what's the move? What if I go to Austin? Where do I need to go? What are the best spots?
um Oh, well, okay, first thing that popped in my head, we're getting pizza tonight, which is why it popped in
Let's go.
my head. But there's a really cool, there's a few different locations, but VIA 313 is the name. VIA
Mm,
313, and they have the best, I think it's Detroit style is what you would call it. But it's so goddamn good.
Detroit
And
flavor. Interesting.
so it's like a thicker crust, kind of like pan style pizza at like Pizza Hut,
Nice.
if that rings a bell. So it's like a thicker like bread sticky crust with a lot of cheese, and then like they usually put the red sauce on top,
Yeah.
and drizzle it on
Okay.
top. I don't know,
Interesting.
but it's fire.
Slaps.
So yeah, it definitely slaps. And then there. I mean, God, if you're coming to Austin, let me know because
I am gonna
I
go to
will
Austin.
I will
I
let
know multiple people there.
I will let you know, or anyone know, some other good places to eat. Like I'm not vegan, but I don't eat, my stomach gets fucked up with like cheese and dairy. So I do know a lot of good vegan places because that's
Nice.
an easy way to get some
Right.
indulgence in the fake dairy department. There's a really good vegan taco food truck that,
Nice.
like, oh, they just do it so like you can't even tell that it's vegan. Like I don't know, it's on another level. But yeah, so there's also like obviously really good barbecue in Texas. Terry Black's is my go-to in Austin. So put that on your list. If you've never been to Terry Black's, you need to get
Terry Blacks.
both their ribs and their brisket.
Let's go. Hell
And
yeah.
their
Well, thanks.
sausage. The sausage is good too.
Sausage is good too. Right on.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to. Well, if I go to Austin, we'll go to one of those places for sure. I know Sydney lives out there. She just moved to Austin, and then I know a couple people who also live out there. So I know at some point in the next year or so I'll be out there. It's just
Nice.
when plane tickets, bro. Plane tickets are so ungodly expensive. I can't even like believe how much it costs to go from Seattle to New York. It's literally as much as it costs to go to like Japan. I'm like, I
That's
remember paying
wild.
that much to go international, and I'm paying the same amount to stay fucking domestic. It's just ridiculous, bro. I'm paying like over $1,000 for a plane ticket. I'm
That's
like, what?
crazy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully I don't think it's gonna happen, but hopefully the economy improves. Or something.
Hopefully.
But
Or
that
something.
doesn't look like it. Pretty much everyone's had this consensus that we're all fucked. That's the consensus I'm getting. So we'll see what happens. It is interesting though because like, we always go through these big waves and cycles, and it always feels like the big first time every single time. In reality, most people are fine. Like even when, what was it? I remember when Trump won the original presidency, and there's all these people on Twitter, all these like normal middle class people were complaining, saying this and that, like I'm going to leave the country. When in reality, like most normal people didn't have anything affected in their day to day life. Nothing really changed. It was just like what they're mad about. And so that's what's interesting to me. I'm really interested to see what the day to day changes are. I mean, right now it's gas, bro. Gas is so expensive, and like everything's expensive. So I'm like, this is a very bad spot to be in for like the world where everything is expensive and people aren't making more money. And there's people out there making like $2,000 to $3,000 a month, barely covering their costs. They got student loans, they have their rent to pay, they got food, they got to pay for this and that. And I'm like, man, like I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, what are your thoughts on like the overall market sentiment? Just as like a kind of like a culture or as a community, like can NFTs survive in a market like that where people are like struggling to fucking put basically food on the table?
I know, like that's a good thing to bring up, and I honestly don't have like a very like educated opinion on that.
Me
But
neither.
my my feeling is that there obviously will be NFTs that don't survive. There's going to be plenty of that.
Yeah.
But I think the projects that continue to like build and deliver, those will survive, and those will, if you are in those will kind of be able to support you if you
Yeah.
if you are a flipper, and or a collector slash trader, however you want to label yourself. But I think there will be lanes, like in my opinion, once the metaverse and some of these games actually get released to where they're actually functional and playable, those probably will be able to make it through any kind of bear market because people are going to play games no matter what.
Right.
But like as far as like right now goes, like I don't really know. Like I'm obviously experiencing the same thing where like gas and everything else is definitely, prices are going up, rent is going up, like everything is going up, and
Yeah.
like you said, like except for people's income a lot of the time, which is unfortunate. And I think a lot of the NFTs are definitely either extra spending for people. So if they don't have extra money, like there's definitely not going to be as much flowing into the space. But at the same time, there's also a lot of people with a lot of money
Yeah.
that
There's
are
just so many. There's
pretty
so many
heavily,
different things. Yeah.
yeah, that like that's what like still like keeps me kind of optimistic, even if we were to really go into a bad place as far as like the US economy.
Mhm.
Like there's so many heavily invested big players in this
Yeah.
space that don't want to see it go away because they're making good money off of it, and why let it go away if they can do what they can to keep it alive. So
Yeah.
hopefully I don't know. I'm optimistic. I'm always optimistic though. That's just kind of my
Yeah, I
mentality.
agree.
But
I'm the same, dude. There's always opportunities, and for the I forget, I can't see who comments. Domo Primo has around 7,000 subscribers on YouTube. Started a few months ago making NFT content. But yeah, no, I agree. And there's always opportunities. I've made money in this dead market. You know, it's tough, but I have. And Eric says we have friendly repercussions to Trump now, and different other categories. I agree. I think there's always repercussions with any, especially someone as polarizing as Trump was, and yeah, Biden sucks. So yeah, we're we're in a whole lot of shit right now. This country, we're doing a lot of BS right now. There's a lot of crap happening. You know, I feel like it's like bad news after bad news after bad news. If you look on the news channels, and Bryce comes in, there's a long foretold winter where projects that are building need to focus on sustainability over just hyping up projects that need to be forgotten. And it's like, for me, this is like a no-brainer. You know, it's like sad that we have to point this out, in my opinion, because like, well, it's not sad. What I'm seeing in the NFT world is a lot of people who have really fun ideas that want to try something, but have zero business experience or business knowledge, who are competing in a climate with people who do understand business, and they're going to get flushed out. Like, they are going to get flushed out, because what you can't do is bet against an entrepreneur who has a proven track record. Like, you just can't bet against, like, they're gonna win. Gary Vee is gonna bring value to V Friends because he's always won. And so it seems like if you're an entrepreneur, you will find, like, that's like the definition. You figure out shit to get out of shit. That's what entrepreneurs do, and they build stuff. So as long as you don't stop, that's like, you're gonna be okay. And so that's what it is for projects out there who are like, well, like, I've had a lot of projects who wanted to hire me for a Brilliant Honest review, and they're like, well, we're gonna wait to launch. And I'm like, well, it's not gonna matter. Like, it makes no difference in 5 years whether you launch in the bull market or the bear market. If you can't drive demand and actual interest because your project's dope, then it's going to be tough in the long run. And you know, that's going to be for a lot of projects, it's going to take longer than they think to get actual demand for the if they don't have the following that they want. It takes a fucking long time. Like, I've been making videos for 9 months straight, daily, 2 to 3 times a day usually, and I'm only at 7,000 subscribers. Like, some people will leave comments saying, I thought you had more subscribers. I'm like, look, it just takes a fucking minute sometimes. Like, it takes a long time to build something worth building.
100%. And that's the same view that I have on what I'm doing with Metaskins and everything. Is like, like I said before, we didn't really go into my background, but that's fine. But I
want to. I was about to go into that, actually.
Sure. So like, I am an entrepreneur. Like, I built a couple really successful businesses with my wife, and set us up to a point where I could leave those and focus on this full time.
Did you sell it off, or is that kind of one of those things that you're like still there in the background?
So we just kind of, we can just dive into it. So we started off with a bookkeeping business, an online bookkeeping business.
Nice.
And then we also kind of branched over to a virtual assistant business, and running those two was obviously supporting us. And we just got to a point where I was ready to take a step away, and like, it wasn't really something that I was passionate about. And then I found Web3 and the metaverse and everything. And so no, like, what we did is we just kind of got rid of our clients, got rid of our employees and everything, and just went all in on this. And looking back on it, I think what I actually, like, what I think I wish I would have done is, I used to be a bartender as well, and I should have picked up like a bartending job while I was building, because we had the money to stay afloat. But like, now, like, as things, because like you said, it does take a while, and and unless you have the money to put into the marketing, which we didn't have that much that we were going to like invest in like heavily in marketing, it does take a little while to grow a following and get that brand awareness out there. So that's what we've been working on now, and that's where all my focus is. And it's just,
bro, I got an answer for you. I got the answer for you. I'm making a YouTube video on this right now. I got TikToks lined up in the drafts. TikTok ads, bro. TikTok. I made a couple tweets about this. TikTok ads are disgustingly undervalued right now. It's like, you could pay like $50 and get thousands of organic views. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, one of my TikToks that I promoted once or twice has like 14 or 15,000 views, and I've gotten multiple commissions off that. And that's like a 100x on my investment. And so I think for anyone, if you can make a good little pitch video, like, hey, like, here's my or some kind of hook, and then be like, here's what we're doing, and something that's intriguing, you know, hit on the egos, what's it called, logos, pathos, egos, whatever it's called, like emotions, and then like the facts and all these things. You can make a little 30 to 60 second ad, run that for literally, like, you're paying $50 to $100, and you get it out to 5, 10, 20,000 people. And like, man, that for me is just like shocking that more people don't know about it. So I'm going to start screaming about it.
Yeah, you should start screaming about it, because I I guess I knew that you could run ads on TikTok, but I never looked very
So
deep into
easy,
it.
bro.
Are you promoting? Like, is that
So you
all?
can,
You're
there's
just
a promote
promoting
button
it?
that you can do on straight on the app. You can literally click on the TikTok that you have if you want to use a TikTok you already have, and literally just
Hmm.
click promote. And if it gets approved, you literally just do it right there. You buy some like TikTok coins, you swap them out. It's basically it's kind of like using like a MetaMask or something. Actually,
Uh-huh.
that's actually funny. That's a perfect little segue for people to get comfortable using like digital
Yeah.
coins on that, like Facebook coins or whatever, or TikTok coins. But anyway, you do that, or you can go online to like I think it's called ads.tiktok.com or something along those lines. Just type in TikTok ads, and you can just set up an account. If you have a website, you can direct them to the website. Like you could just directly, you very easily send them right to the Mint website or something like that, and just have like, here's a very direct thing. If you like what I said, here's our Mint website. You can go straight there right now, or you can go to my Twitter. You can go to my email, like at the end of my ad and in my caption. I'm like, hey, if you want to get in contact with me, email me here or DM me on Twitter. And it's just very
Hmm.
simple for me, and it's been fantastic because honestly, if you get one return, um, that's all your money back right there, you know. So
Right.
and
Right.
14,000 people see it, not one person responds, then either your ad sucks or you got to rethink everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's so true.
yeah,
That's a good tip. I'll definitely look into that.
yeah, man, 100%. How did you get the? So you were bartending before. That's interesting. I want to bartend soon. It's like a experience I just want to have. So right now I'm doing full-time YouTube stuff, but I was like, you know what? I want to meet some more people and I want to bartend. So like, there's a few restaurants right down the street. I'm just gonna go see if I can bartend there.
Yeah.
But like, what did you? I guess like, how do you for people who are watching, I think building business is really interesting, and I want to go into that sector of content as well because I've built my business over the last 9 months online. It's been really awesome. But like for you, what was it like building your own business? Was there a lot of money up front that you put up? Was it scary? Were you already working at another job? I know you said you did bartending, but did you just drop everything and just like with $5,000 kind of thing, just make it happen, or what was the path like for you?
Yeah. I think. I've said this before, and then I went and did it anyways. But
Yeah,
I think like don't like just quit your job and go and try and start something else because like you don't want that stress of like the thing that you're trying to start to be
yeah,
like it has to happen. Otherwise, I'm not going. Like I don't know where money is going to come from.
agreed.
So like I think it's good to like either have a big savings saved up or just keep working at least a part-time job while you're building your passion project. um and I say that, and I didn't do that either
Yeah,
time
me
that
neither. I say
that
that too, and I did not do that either. No one does
but
that, bro. Everyone who's an
but
entrepreneur says it, and they
I
never follow
know,
their advice.
I know.
Uh,
And so I don't know,
so funny.
maybe it's actually like right to do do
if
it
if
the
if
risky
you can
way. I don't
handle it,
know.
if you can handle it and actually pull it off, then yes. If you say I'm gonna make this happen because now there's no choice, if you're someone who can make that happen, then yes. If you're not someone who's got the stones to do that, you're gonna have to work up to that. And there's no problem with waiting a little bit and just
Yeah.
saving up a bag. Like for me, I want to do Airbnb. That's like one of my long-term goals here in the next 5-10 years. I want to have multiple properties just because the cash flow just makes everything in your life easier. And it's really
Hmm.
not that difficult to get started. I know multiple people who are in the business, and I'm like, bro, you just need to save up like 20K. Just save up 20 or 30K and you're good. Just save up 20 or 30K. Just that's all that could be your goal for the next 10 years. Get 25K liquid and go make it happen. And I
Yeah.
think that's a way safer way to do it for people who are just not as interested in going a business route. But sorry, I interrupted you. Keep going. So you didn't follow your
um
advice.
I definitely didn't follow my advice. So, one sec, I have to
Go for it.
respond to this.
Yeah, I hear you.
15.
I hear you. This is what it is, guys. NFT project founders and CEOs in real time. He's got a
Yeah,
business. He's got a business thing. He's got to
I
respond.
I always tell myself turn the phone over and like set it off to the side, but it always like catches my attention. I'm
Nope.
sorry. Yeah, that is the day in the life of a founder. But it was a quick, easy answer. So what the hell did you just ask
Oh,
me?
so like just to continue the story, you had said
Oh yeah, yeah.
don't go all in, but you did,
Mhm.
as we all do.
Don't go all in, but if you do go all in, go fucking all in.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what we did. So I keep saying we. It definitely has been a partner collaboration between me and my wife. So
Nice.
me and my wife has definitely been more of the marketing and awareness side of the businesses that we've grown up until Metaskins, which is
Yeah.
where that's where I'm like kind of feeling into and kind of getting my own way of doing things and learning. And obviously like she's there in the background, kind of guiding me and pushing me in the directions that I need to be going.
Right.
But um, what we did is we sold we sold all of our stuff. I was bartending, she was serving,
Yeah.
and we were staying in an apartment. And at the end of our lease, we just sold basically all of our stuff and moved to Bali. so
Whoa,
um,
whoa,
so
whoa, whoa! Hold
so
on. Wait, wait. That was totally out of nowhere. Wait. So you wanted to start a business and you moved to Bali?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
We
Okay.
like so yeah, I don't know if we're good role models, but that's what we did. And
Holy shit.
we sold all our stuff. We moved to Bali, and we had one client at the time when we moved for our bookkeeping business. So we were doing, what we did is we took a couple online courses,
Yeah.
got certified and all that fun stuff to be bookkeepers, and learn how to bookkeep. And
Mhm.
there was a whole course just like based off of like teaching how to do online bookkeeping.
Yep.
So we did that, and then we sold all our stuff and moved to Bali. And we had
Wow.
the one client, and we had a decent amount of savings, not like anything crazy.
Mhm.
But Bali is also very much much more affordable than the U.S.
Yep.
So when we were over there, we ended up getting, I think we ended up getting like 5 or 6 other clients for our bookkeeping business, which really got us in a good place.
Nice.
And then after our time in Bali, we eventually wound up back in the States. And at that point, our business was thriving.
Hell
Pretty
yeah.
much a lot of things were just kind of running on autopilot. And then we started expanding to the virtual assistant side of things as well. And so then we had bookkeeping and virtual assistant that we could offer. And
Wow.
and then from there, we just kind of like bounced around. We were trying to figure out where we wanted to live, basically. And then we ended up in Austin. And while we were in Austin, COVID hit, and as a lot of us experienced, that brought a lot of unique challenges to everyone's lives that we weren't prepared or
Yeah.
expecting to have to deal with. But I think it was good, and it shined the light, for me at least, that I wasn't passionate about the businesses. It was just something that we had, and it was working, but it wasn't like we weren't like taking very many steps forward to like grow from where we were. And neither of us really knew what direction we wanted to go. And
Because it wasn't such a passion like that, because to be able to walk away from cash flow, that's hard. To walk away from a business making income on your own terms, you must have really felt that. And I guess it does answer the question of like, is that shit even worth it if you hate that stuff on the day to day, you know?
yeah, and I personally, no, I don't think it is worth it if you do kind of hate it. And I went through phases. Like I wouldn't say I hated it, but I definitely wasn't really enjoying it, and it
Yeah.
wasn't like sparking any new like creativity. And that's where I really shine, is like and that's the whole thing that's happened with this Web3 metaverse
Right.
adventure that I've gone on, is that I see the future, and I'm very like a visionary, if you will. And I'm good at orchestrating and pulling together a team, and getting the right people plugged into the right spots to make things happen. And that's exactly what I did with Metaskins. I met both our Solidity dev and our front end web dev just through Twitter and Discord.
Wow. No
And they
shit.
just,
Which
yeah.
Discord?
One of the Discord, okay, so one was Twitter and one was Discord. The Discord was, I don't think anyone would even be a part of it, but maybe you would. Tropo, if you've heard of Tropo Farmer, he is a Bored Ape Yacht Club holder that I met him early on in the space before he got to his shit posting influencer status.
Yeah.
But he has his own little small little Discord that he started at one point, and I met our front end web dev in there.
Cool.
But yeah, so like I've met, and like I said earlier on, like I've been in the space for a while, and this was all like early days of NFTs before everything got flooded with all the noise, and it was a lot easier to meet like legitimate
Yeah.
actual people.
It's hard, bro. Now everybody's a fucking scam. Like literally
Yeah,
everybody. I don't trust anybody in Discords anymore. It sucks, bro. Like
it does suck.
it sucks. Like if you had, for me, if I hadn't built a name in the space, man, that's a tough it's a tough world to get in, and I guess that's the benefit of being early is you do get to kind of be there when it's beginning. But if you do show up a little bit later, like there's still plenty of opportunities. There's still tons of people looking for work that are legit, but you're gonna have to sift through a lot more bullshit because there's more people.
Yeah, you just have to really sift and be
Yeah.
careful because I'm so fortunate that I met the people I did because like there's so much at stake, especially like with what we're doing. Like if I didn't trust our Solidity dev, he could easily because like I said, I'm not a coder. I don't
Yeah.
I've learned to read Solidity. Like I kind of understand the contracts now.
Mhm.
But before, like when I first met him, I had no idea what these contracts were saying, and he could have made them
Yeah.
do anything. Like he could have made all the money go to him, and
It's
nothing
scary, bro.
go where it should have gone. So like yeah, that's just a word of caution. Is like you definitely need to trust who you're partnering up with because. If it's somebody that you met online and you've never even
Yeah.
seen their face, like they could be anyone, and even if you have seen their face, they could still be anyone.
Mhm.
They could have ulterior motives, so it's
It's
good
fucked,
to.
bro. I remember in November of 2021, I was not helping with the project, but I guess advising would be the best thing. They were basically one of the guys in the team was I had met through the Ugaverse Discord who I was working with, and we met it when we were grinding for whitelist is when I originally had met him, but we became good friends that way because we were just always in there for like 60 hours straight. And a few months later, he's like, "Hey man, I know you have YouTube. We're looking to do a project called Winter Elves. We'd love to like do a video. Like we'll give you a custom avatar." And so they made me a custom Space Yeti, which ended up being like a fucking baller profile. Like it's such a good, and it was by one of the best artists in the space, Pong. He's like a well-known artist in the NFT space, and so super cool for me. But what happened was they did their mint, and their coder, smart contract developer, the day before mint had something he had to change. So he called the team and said, "Hey, I gotta fix this one thing real quick." And they'd been working with it for months. He said, "Okay, go problem, no problem." What he did was he swapped them and he put in a fake
Mm,
contract, went straight to his wallet and liquidated. I don't even know how many ETH. Got a bunch of ETH. They were able to. They noticed that it was fake about an hour, I think, after the mint began, and they were like, "Whoa, hold on!" Everyone stopped, and they deleted everything, and they were like, "Wait, we need to figure out what's going on." Everyone was panicking, and I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I've never seen anything like this happen yet.
right.
And but yeah, so they basically found that out in real time. I'm sitting there, like our community was in there. We were all excited because I mean, outside of that little hack, the project was lit. Like we were really excited. And then they ended up having
Yeah.
to rebrand, and it hasn't really worked out since. But you really don't know in this NFT space. There's a lot of shitty characters out there, a lot of cool people that you're going to meet, but there's equally as many people looking to steal your money.
Totally. And like stealing your money is obviously like probably the biggest worry. But like from a founder's standpoint, like I want the things that we're releasing to work.
Yeah,
So like I'm just going out on a whim. Like, yeah, we tested on the test net and it seems like it's gonna work, but
yeah,
the main net is a whole different beast. And I've just been so grateful and just fortunate to have the skilled players that I do on our team that have just like executed flawless drops. Like I've been a part of some pretty shitty drops,
mhm,
and and everything that we've done has just been so smooth, and it's just like I just feel I'm, like I said, grateful and just fortunate that I do have the team that I do because I couldn't do it alone. Like, I mean,
yeah,
I
yeah.
could start like trying to teach myself how to code Solidity, but I bet you it wouldn't be as smooth of a drop if it was me doing it.
Well, have
Um,
you always been an entrepreneur though? Like I know you said you weren't into coding and stuff, but you're good on camera. You're good at networking with people. You're good at business, obviously, and figuring stuff out. What were you like before the businesses, before the bartending, maybe even like in college, high school,
yeah.
like that? Those
So
years.
I guess like I got the entrepreneurial bug probably few years after college, but I went to college for I started going to college for civil engineering.
Nice.
That didn't really work out. So
Shit's hard, bro.
it was very hard. The physics and shit just it wasn't working for me. I also
Yeah.
wasn't a very great student in college, so just too much partying. But after college. is when that's when I really started paying attention to Gary Vee. You brought him up a few times. So like that, he's been a big motivator for me, as well as like Tim Ferriss and Kevin Rose. I'm sure
Yeah.
you
Have you heard of
probably heard.
Alex Hormozy? Tom Young's put me on him. Dude,
Mm-mm.
Alex Hormozy will change your life. If you've been watching a lot of Gary Vee, and not that I'm burnt out of Gary Vee, but I was ready for like to see someone also on my timeline. Bro, Alex Hormozy, this man in the last 18 months or so has quickly risen to the top of like entrepreneur content. Like this dude, he's built $100 million business. This guy like talks from experience, and he's got so much fucking health. He's got such a good way of speaking. He's like got a philosophy background, and bro, this guy like he will completely hypnotize you in the way he talks. It's
Nice.
amazing. So you definitely should check him out.
I should. How do you spell that last
It's
name?
Alex Hormozy, Hormizi, I think. If you just type it on YouTube, Alex Hormozy, it'll probably pop up. And it's a dude he has like long black hair. He's like a bodybuilder looking dude. He used to do all that stuff back in the day, but now he's just like a fucking savage businessman.
Okay, I found him.
CEO of acquisition.com. They're just like a huge, huge company. They take companies who are making 10 mil and they make them billionaire companies basically. And it's just like, this guy knows his shit, and he really, really knows his shit. So really, really good guy to just have like in the back of your head, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like when you watch people, they help influence you a little bit. Really, really helpful guy there. But you said you got the bug, Gary Vee, you were watching him a little bit.
I was watching him a little bit. I found Gary Vee in college, actually. I don't know how I found Gary Vee, to be honest. But somehow I found him, and I was actually like, didn't really care for him. I was like, who is this fucking dude?
Yeah.
But at that time, I was just an ignorant partying college dude. So like, he just came off harsh, like he does to a lot of people. But so like I found him in college, and then like kind of forgot about him, and then one day he popped back up on my feed,
that's how it was for me too,
as he does with everyone, it seems like. But yeah, and then I started like really listening to his message, and like I love that he was always like pushing like positivity and patience and perspective and everything. And I was just like, okay, I fuck with this guy. Like he has an interesting delivery, but I like the message that he's saying.
And he's actually built a business. I don't think I knew that he like did that. I thought he was just like basically a motivational speaker. I was like, what does he actually know? But no, this motherfucker is a savage businessman as well.
Savage. Like I feel like people underrate what
they do, bro. They do.
Overrate or underrated Gary Vee. He's so underrated.
Very, very underrated.
It's unreal what he's built.
People think he's a content creator. I'm like, motherfucker, this guy is a CEO. That's what he is. Like, he makes content, but he is a CEO. You're watching his life as a CEO. That's what he does.
And he puts, I mean, obviously he has a team that's doing a lot of the content for him, which is awesome. But like he puts me to shame. Like I'm nowhere near like the level of responsibility as he has as being with VaynerMedia and everything. But like I'm not cranking out anywhere near as much content as he is. Like I said, he does have a team, but still, like it's like if he can do that, like you got to hustle a little bit harder if you really want what you want. So, but yeah, so then I got turned back onto him, and like I started really diving into like Tim Ferriss and really like more so focusing on like personal development at that point in time. And I think I want to say, this was right around the time where my wife had gotten turned on to Young Living essential oils, if you've ever heard of that. And that it's like a multi-level marketing, network marketing, whatever you want to call it, thingamajig. And like that, but that was like our first exposure to like what like entrepreneurship could be. And then from there, I think we both just kind of got the itch, and we're like, we don't want to work for somebody else. We want to work for ourselves. And then from there, we were just, to be honest, I don't know. It was definitely my wife who found the bookkeeping opportunity. I don't know how she found it. But when she found it, we just kind of were like, okay, this is something we could do together. And we just kind of dove in and learned it all. And then we're like, okay, let's what should we do now that we can start this business? And they're like, well, let's fucking move to Bali, because we've always wanted to go to Bali.
I can't believe you did that. That is so cool, bro. That is so cool.
Yeah, it was a good time, and we've been back once since then. We were planning on going back right when COVID hit, so hopefully we get back again. But I can't say enough about Bali. I love Bali. I also love
Was it
Thailand.
how was that like experience actually moving there and doing that? Was it hard? Was it easy? Because I've thought about it, but I've also been like, am I really gonna move to another country to save money? Like, is it that worth it?
It wasn't hard. It was actually like really easy to do, but there was a point that we got to, which is why we ended up coming back, where we did miss the the lifestyle that you can easily live in the U.S. as far as just like the amenities that you kind of take for granted, like running water and water that you can drink out of the tap, and the toilet situation, and
Yeah.
just little things like that that kind of drain you over time. I think that if we were, you can definitely be like paying more
Yeah. Yeah.
to get those commodities more accessible, but at that point we weren't. But
Hmm.
but to anyone that's like, even if you just wanted to spend like a month or two there, like if
Yeah, it's so
you
cheap. You could just do that. You're right. Let me think about
yeah,
that. Yeah.
especially and like that could save you a lot of money if you weren't, if there was some way
Yeah.
where you weren't paying rent or whatever
Good point.
back home. But yeah, it's a legit place, and they're very Bali's very nomad friendly. So
Cool.
there's lots of very good Wi-Fi everywhere, and everyone speaks fairly good English, and lots of good places to eat that are catered towards tourists. So yeah,
Cool.
it's a
Cool,
good
cool,
time.
cool. Hell yeah. And I see Natalia's in the chat. She said Off-Stormers has also changed my life. Oh yeah, great point. I feel I'm stupid for leaving that out. Layla, fucking beast. Beast woman.
Layla.
Yeah, she's also just as fucking good at business. Like they are both absolute next level business. Like she is also like in her own right, completely separate from him, just as fucking good. Like they're both they're like a monster couple. And also Tom Bilyeu and his wife Lisa. She's also a
Hmm.
monster. Like, yeah, Lisa Bilyeu and Tom Bilyeu are also outstanding people to watch. At least for me, mainly from a personal. I feel like I watch him more for like a personal development standpoint. But
Yeah,
yeah, I just wanted to
I
bring that up because I
I
saw her
feel
comment.
that. No, yeah,
Yeah,
I feel that way. That's cool, and I think that, not to put me and my wife in the same category, but I feel the same way about me and her. Like
fuck yeah,
we're obviously not at their level, but my wife's a badass. Like
fuck yeah.
I don't think like that I don't think is said enough, that like I personally don't think I would have gone this entrepreneurial route if it wasn't for her, and I'm grateful for that, just for her pushing me and pushing us in a direction that allowed us to grow into what we're doing now. So
Hell
yeah.
yeah. That's awesome, bro. You're definitely gonna get some fucking brownie points tonight for that one. Just got clip that and
Somebody
post on
clip
your
that.
TikTok. Yeah, somebody clip that, tag him. We gotta make Billy's night here.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. Well, how'd you guys meet? Was it like random? Like,
We this is a fun story. So we met on Tinder in
no
college.
way.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
So
god, that's
we don't
awesome.
have to go too far into the weeds, but I lived in a house of like 10 dudes, and my room was always the hangout room because it was clean, and our basement, like living room and stuff, was always trashed because we held parties all the time.
Yeah.
So people would always hang out in my room, and I had an iPad, and on that iPad was a Tinder app that, for whatever reason, we decided to set up as me, but everyone used it. So
Oh
somehow
my god,
yeah, so just young the
that's
conversations
so funny.
that were going
Oh
on
my god.
in that, like just ridiculous
Uh,
stuff, but young and dumb. But somehow she ended up connecting with me on there, and she got a very weird uh, very weird message at one point. And
so
but then,
funny.
like, for whatever reason, I was like looking through all the conversations, and like she was one of the first ones I saw, and I was like, that girl's cute. And so I like clicked on
Nice.
it, and then like tried to like text something like, that was definitely not me. Like
Oh boy.
my roommates used my account too, and like, and so we met up, and from then on we were like,
Wow.
okay, this girl's cool, and she actually
Yeah.
realized I wasn't a creeper. um and yeah,
Holy
and
shit.
the rest is history. So yeah, we've been together for 9 years.
Damn, bro, that's so fucking awesome. That gives me hope. It gives me a little bit of hope. What's the key to a lasting marriage as we bring this podcast to a close? We can end this on a positive note, maybe.
Yeah, no, I would definitely say communication. Like, and
Mm,
she would that there's some more brownie points for me, but like communication, like it's so big. Like, just you need to talk about what's on your mind, and like don't keep things in, like, because that always just leads to those bad situations where you blow up over something
yeah,
little because of something else that you've been holding on to for a while. So I think like it's pretty. I feel like that's a pretty classic answer, but like
yeah,
communication, it's huge, and communication is just huge in general. Like, like relationships of other relations, not just like your spouse. Like, communication is the number one thing that anyone could really improve on. If I had to say.
yeah. I agree. I agree. Just making them feel heard, making sure that they just basically feel heard. I feel like being felt heard is like one of the best feelings ever. Not feeling like excluded from like the conversation, or feeling like you're not part of it or something like that. I feel like it's a pretty shitty feeling. Like a lot of kids feel, they feel like left out of the group, or they feel like their
Yeah.
opinion doesn't matter or something like that. I think that's so important, especially in a marriage when you guys are life partners. At that point, you're gonna have to fight through all that shit together. That probably would be the most important thing. Well, shit, dude, that was a fucking fantastic podcast. We literally we went on the entire spectrum of everything just now.
Seriously, we did. That was a good one. I
Yeah,
enjoyed everything we talked about. So
hell yeah,
I'm
man.
glad I got to come on and chat, and um yeah, hopefully
Hell yeah.
hopefully the guys that are still tuning in, go check out Metaskins.
Do it,
Um
guys. Do it.
it's
Check it
just
out.
it's just an awesome way to support an awesome dude. So
Hell yeah. Yeah, if
it's
you guys
gonna
enjoyed this conversation, yeah, check him out. I have all the links in below, like all the links in the description below. I have his Twitter, I have the TikTok, I have the minting website. I have all the things in the description if you guys are interested. You're one click away. So check it out. As we bring this podcast to a close, guys, thank you so much for being here with us, especially if you're in here live. Smash the like button. It really helps the channel out tremendously. So I appreciate you guys always clicking the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you like NFT content. And also, if this is your first podcast with us, I want to see in the chat. We'll just, you know what? We'll go metaskins as the code word in all caps. That's the code word, so I know that you made it to the end. And if this is not your first episode with us, if you've been here, you guys already know. I want to see OG spanned in the chat, so we appreciate you guys all being here. And yeah, shit, dude, thanks for coming on again.
Yeah, thanks for
Um,
having me, and thanks everyone that's in the chat. I've been trying to keep up. I'm the worst at reading chats and interacting as we go, but we did a pretty good job. I see some
yeah,
familiar faces in there, so thanks
hell
for all
yeah.
being here.
Hell yeah, that was awesome, and I'm excited to keep tabs on it. We'll see how Metaskins does. I hope some people hop into the Discord or something after this conversation. And
Hell
guys,
yeah.
thank you so much for being here. Until next time, continue on your journey, continue to learn, and be grateful you're alive watching this video. Bye.